What's up, Hobbynomicon, day 130-ish. I'm sitting here doing my work, and I was just kind of looking around, daydreaming, thinking about a problem. When were y'all gonna tell me it was sitting right there on my bookshelf the whole time? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? It's mail day, and my X-Acto knife is still missing, which is crazy because I just found it again. But this right here, probably my last Warmachine miniatures for a while. Or my last non-3D printed Warmachine miniatures for a while, for sure. What do we got? I took a risk on these because I didn't know, with how the auction was set up, I just didn't know if it was actually going to be new in box like this. But because it is new in box, I actually, like, this is 2 units of infantry with the Rocket Boys. But that's like this privateer press plastic during this time sucks. But these aren't too bad. Pretty exciting. This is so that's the last bit that I needed for 5th Division. These I'm really excited about. These are like old metal models in the best way. And I'm gonna be able to use these in so many things. So excited for these. And then the last thing, the last missing piece. And with all my talk of solo gaming and not worrying about lists and not making lists anymore, I decided that for when I do play Warmachine, it's 5th Division, because I love it. I love all the models. I'm excited to paint everything. This was not what I ordered. This is not an extreme juggernaut. This is a plastic juggernaut. Okay, so yeah, I got that worked out. I'm not gonna put the seller on blast or anything. I've ordered from them a bunch of times. They're a good seller. They're gonna make it right. But this is still cool though, because I actually like this juggernaut, and I don't have one of this sculpt anyway. So even though it's not an extreme juggernaut, it's still cool. So I went back and I was looking at this again, and I didn't realize this before, but they gave me two hands. So if and an extra finger. So if I recast the fingers, if I recast the fingers, I'll be able to make it a juggernaut pretty easily now. If I recast the fingers in this piece, that piece right there, because they gave me 2 of those and an extra finger, but I only have the bottom half of the head, and I got this a while back, so I don't have any way of getting the head still, so I'm gonna have to figure out the head. But my jack situation is cursed on this apparently, because I ordered a juggernaut before and they didn't ship me the head either. So like every time I've tried to get a juggernaut, something has been wrong with it. I think with just the way the world works, it's really hard to go into something like a game blind. Like it's very hard to not just go look up reviews, go look up what's going on, check it out before you buy something. Today, I'm going to share with you me going completely blind into Kingdom Death. I originally bought Kingdom Death for the miniatures. I didn't have any plans of actually playing it or anything like that, so I didn't look at gameplay. I didn't look at anything else that came in the box. I just looked like, hey, those look like very cool miniatures to paint. I bought it, been sitting on it for a while. All right, cool. Sorry about the bases. This is a 2-part base, and you pop it in. On all the survivors, you can pop in this insert of the skulls, or the faces, not skulls, which is just pretty cool in my opinion. All right, so this is part 1 in exploring solo war games. So I know there's a ton of like board game review channels and a ton of things like that. So my approach to this is gonna be like hands on the table, actually doing it, not kind of like, I don't want it to be like a listicle. Like I built this model. You can see I had to use a ton of sprue glue to cover this mold line in the back. And then I came back over it with resin glue. So you can still see the crack here, and you can still see the, it looks like there's a gap here, but there's not. And it's just because I used clear resin right there. Same thing, there's a gap here in the wrist, gap here. So if you're a modeler, And again, I'm not really a board gamer, so I'm sure for board games, these are high quality miniatures. The plastic is great, very high quality material, but there's some gaps on this bad boy. You're going to spend a lot of time building this. The survivors were awesome. This guy on, oh, I just popped him off his base. That's not good. Interesting. I've used plastic glue, so maybe these aren't good with plastic glue. But I gap filled with Tamiya resin glue. There's a pretty hellacious gap right there on the arm, but the rest of these very high quality models, very cool sculpts. So 10 out of 10 on figures themselves. Really, of the initial survivors, I think they're called survivors, really only this guy that I just popped off the base was the only one that gave me trouble, and it was just from the gap in the arm. So let's get him glued. I'm gonna glue the tiger, I'm gonna glue the lion to the base, and then we're gonna get started. All right, so again, at this point, just building that, you're looking at like 2 or 3 hours if you wanna really gap fill. If you just wanna throw them together and don't care about gaps, probably an hour if you know what you're doing. Now, this is the box. This is everything except the miniature parts, which is crazy. Like it's a very thick box, very high quality box. To give you setup reference, my desk that we're on right now is 5 feet across and 30 inches back towards the wall. So it's a big craft desk. I'm gonna get this laid out and we'll see just how much space you actually need to play it. Don't want to do that, just wanted to read the intro pages. So what this tells you too is that's the prologue. The story picks up after 4 survivors awaken. You can play solo with 4 people, or you can have 4 people playing a survivor. Love this kind of anime inspired art. First step, assembling the starting miniatures, which I did. I don't have that base insert, so I don't know if that's like an upsell or something, but I definitely don't have that. But I did have the faces, and that's where my bookmark is. So now we create our survivor. So what I've already gone ahead and done, and I'm just gonna move through the rule book. So these are actually coin protector pages, like if you're collecting coin binders, and I won't actually use the 4th row or these bottom 2. You only use 9 slots, but I felt silly to cut it. I put these in the slot positions based on how the rules told me to. And also the big time consuming thing was I sleeved all of the cards. And again, same coin protector binder, I just put a screw through here. This is all the other things. So there's rare gear here that is just, you're not supposed to see, so I kept that sealed. This is like terrain here. There's also all of these things. So again, under that like coin, same thing, coin protectors, they fit perfectly inside little plastic coin protectors. So I did all that, put those in here. I don't know what this stuff is for. Again, I'm just showing you, like, there's a lot of components. There's a ton. They come with dividers. So I've sleeved all these cards up. But like Gold Smoke Night, they give you a hard card divider for the cards. So I've sleeved all of these, just put them in their section. So these are all the different boss fights. These cards here are related to your settlements. So again, I just got sleeves for all these, sleeved all those up. These spaces here were originally for the coins, but after you put coin protectors in, they just don't fit anymore. The dice, more dice, wound. I think these are wound trackers. And then I think the other stuff over here on the other side of the box, when you get expansions, you can fit them in here, but they don't account for sleeves, I don't think. So that's where we are. Let me get the actual full board set up so we can really see what we're doing. Okay, so I just set the actual board game out, and I can tell you just from that I'm not gonna be able to play this on this desk that's 5 feet by 2.5 feet. I'm gonna have to move it to my 6x or my 8x4, but I'm gonna have to move it over to my like real gaming table. So that means I gotta put some stuff away again because I just like to junk that table up. I just found that head. Whoa, look what else I just found. Me and that table, I gotta stop junking it up. This is my commitment. That'll be the Kingdom Death table from now on. I'll stop junking it up, I promise. Okay, we just got set up. In terms of what's actually on the table, it's 45, 46 inches, not including the room you need to put the rulebook down. And then in terms of like how deep a table you need, it's right at 32 inches. So just to give you an idea of how much space, if you have a 4x4 for Warmachine, you're going to be good. Or definitely with a 6x4. Uses cards for what the monster does, I guess. I did end up cutting these because they fit on the dashboards, and then these are the character sheets on top. Monster is there. Now it's time to put the heroes on. According to this, they start 6 spaces away. And also it's cardinally, so it's not diagonals. They only move in cardinal directions. They don't move diagonally. I think that makes the game a lot simpler. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shuffle these decks, but they tell you on the first encounter you have to place those cards on top. So when I get into actually playing, and I'll get better lighting and actually get my camera set up. So now setup time. Again, I'm reading the book and I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know, it really only took me like 10 minutes to get to this point. But I think the setup and teardown time is like the settlement part, which I haven't gotten to yet. But getting here was very, very quick. Okay, so I was thinking about it, and I haven't read ahead, and I don't really know how combat works or anything. But I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, so I thought it might be better just to split the party up and maybe divide and conquer. So I don't know. This could be a terrible mistake. 3, 4. I was just making sure. So this could be a terrible mistake. Maybe it's not. I don't know what's better or not. But I'm going in blind, so we'll see. But my gut tells me to do that. I'm definitely gonna need better lighting because 2 of my light bulbs just went out.